All right, good evening. It is 5:31 on Wednesday, December 6th. This is the regular meeting of the Oline Economic Development Commission at the Town Hall meeting room. We have in attendance Wendy Russell, Jean Wilczynski, John Stratton, Mona Colwell, and myself, Cheryl Poirier. Excused this evening is Scott Smith, and we're expecting at any time MJ DeRizio and Joe Camian. So welcome, everyone. The first order of business is to approve the October 4th meeting minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. We may have to wait. Wendy, Wendy, I was on the phone. Okay, so yeah, Wendy, we were all in attendance, right, in October? Yes. Okay, very good. So we do have a quorum to vote on that. So would anyone like to make a motion to approve the October 4th meeting minutes?
I'll do.
Wendy, and a second?
I'll second.
Mona, any discussion? All in favor of approving the October 4th meeting minutes, say aye. Aye. Any opposed or abstaining? All right, the October 4th meeting minutes are approved. Next up, we have public comment, although I don't think we have anyone on the phone. Is anyone on the phone that would like to provide comment? All right, we may offer that again at the end of the meeting if we realize someone calls in a few minutes late, a little early. Okay, the 2024-2025 EDC budget. We're going to be asked to submit our budget request in the coming weeks. It's going to be a very quick turnaround, though. It's a new process, so I'm not sure we're going to have time to vote on what we're submitting before it's due. And I haven't been given the instructions on what to submit. But I would like to consider just asking for the same thing we had last year. We are doing fine with our budget. We also still have ARPA funds. One thing that will be coming up in June is the 3-year subscription for ExploreOline.com, which is like $200, less than $200 a year. So we do have plenty of money to cover that. So I think we're in good shape. So does anyone want to discuss the budget or feeling like you want to ask for something in addition this year?
Do we need any more printed materials like the Explore Online brochures or cards or anything that you've had before?
Yeah, I think we have some budget in our regular budget for that, but we also have some ARPA funds to still spend that can cover that sort of thing as well. So I feel like that can be covered. Any other discussion, questions? Okay. So can I make the motion?
No.
Okay. Would someone want to make a motion to submit the EDC budget for a total of $4,136 for the 24-25?
I'll make a motion to submit the budget. $1,151.
$36.
I'll second.
Okay, Jean. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, that budget is passed. Thank you. When I am requesting, when they request it, I'll go ahead and put that right in. Okay, the mission statement. I did give you all a handout. One that's kind of spaced out, which is the draft that we came up with last time and is in our minutes. We need some sort of statement up top, like a vision statement that would kind of pull it all together. And so I'll just read this. There are 3 parts to our mission statement. 1, support the growth and sustainability of existing and future businesses creating an improved quality of life for all who live in and visit Old Lyme. 2, to collaborate with other commissions and entities to foster the business environment and to strengthen economic stability, growth, and diversification. And 3, provide resources, information, and guidance on services and events available. And the kind of vision statement, which we still haven't nailed down the words on, is something about Old Lyme being an arts-centered, environmentally sensitive community with year-round and seasonal residents, and keeping that in line with the town's Plan of Conservation and Development vision statement. So, what are people thinking about this? Do we need to work on this further? We certainly have to work on the vision statement further. Is there anything else we should be doing in addition to those 3 parts?
Just going to the Explore Old Lyme site to see, because you already have, so many great things that you put into that website. So is there something on Explore Old Lyme that we're missing?
Well, we break it into work, live, visit. So that's kind of the theme there, or the framework, I would say. Mona, that's a good idea to take a look at that. So one is helping businesses grow and be sustainable. Number 2 is about collaborating with others to strengthen our economy. And 3 is to provide resources, information, and guidance. One example of that is that a resident came into town hall the other day. Her granddaughter's interested in starting a business, possibly in Old Lyme, and wanted to know the steps that you go through to do that. So I happened to be in the building, and I connected with them and gave them some resources. So that's kind of just like an everyday sort of thing with businesses that are trying to get started. If they're delayed in opening, we try to help facilitate that in any way we can.
What would be the process if you weren't in the building? I'm curious.
The first selectman's office would have put them in contact with me.
Oh, okay.
Or an EDC member, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So then I guess the question is, what are the steps?
I was going to say, if...
So you know
I
what
would
to
like
tell
to see
them, but
more
maybe
people
if they
doing
reached out to
that
one of
rather
us, yeah, whose term is up in January.
Actually. Yeah. So, actually, there is a state website, which I will share with all of you because I found it very interesting, and you can play with it. You don't have to submit your email address or what your real business name is or anything like that. And they walk you through, okay, what kind of business is it going to be? If it's going to be a food industry business, well, you're going to need to include the health department and, licenses and things like that. So they walk you through all these steps, and it actually was interesting to do. And so in terms of, a lot of it has to do at the state level and submitting your name and taxes and sales tax and payroll tax. But at the town level, it depends on whether you're renting or buying a building. Is it in a commercial zone? Can you do what you want to do in that building in terms of zoning? If you're going to be a small food business, do you need exhaust hoods and things like that? So it's all those kinds of things. Then you register with the town clerk. So it depends on if you're renting versus buying a building to start a business. And hopefully you'll get in contact with us and we will try to support you. But as you all know, there's a lot of word of mouth in town. Like that's how we learn about businesses opening, or you drive by something and you see the shingle hanging out.
So every business in Old Lyme has to register with the town clerk?
I believe they do, and I believe that goes to the town. I can be wrong about that. Maybe it's just the state.
Well, I don't know if that's right, because you have to pay property tax on all your
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So it would be the town clerk.
There is a requirement.
Yeah. So I think one thing
Registered with the town clerk.
Right, and then obviously there's a form that gets sent to you every year from, I assume, the tax collector, the assessor or something.
Right.
I can't remember.
So one thing we should, as we move forward with this strategic plan, is putting something on the town's website, not Explore Old Lyme, but the town's website, starting a business in Old Lyme. That's
Yeah.
something I've been wanting to do, and if anyone wants to spearhead that project, getting the steps, a lot of that would be talking to land use upstairs or the town clerk or the assessor. It would be really great to have a page like that on our town website. So the things that we want to do or are doing, do they all fall under those 3 categories?
I would say so.
I think so, because I think they're broad enough that they really would cover a lot that even we're not already doing. So if we wanted to do something new 2 years from now, it still should fit into one of those categories.
One of the things we're going to talk about doing is following metrics a little bit better of how the economy is doing in Old Lyme, and I do have something to share with you on that. But I think that can fall under number 3.
Yes.
Okay? Because we haven't really been able to measure how well we're doing here. Okay, so in terms of the vision statement, do we want to work on that now or come back to that? That sort of Old Lyme is an art-centered, environmentally sensitive. I don't think that captures the whole town, really.
So just to share from what we currently have on the town's website, we've got a few sentences.
Okay.
The Old Lyme Economic Development Commission supports economic investment and revitalization of existing businesses while attracting new commerce and cultural opportunities, complementing the true spirit and character of the community, resulting in long-term employment and a diversified economic base, further benefiting the quality of life for all who live in and visit Old Lyme. That's the longest sentence ever, and I think it's 1, 2, and 3 right here now. Then it goes on. The EDC is committed to working openly and collaboratively with all stakeholders, especially town residents and local business owners, in a manner that will maintain and strengthen the local economy while preserving the charm and character of Old Lyme and protecting the town's natural and cultural resources. So that first sentence, that sentence right there sort of encompasses.
Yep.
Can you read that sentence?
Create the wheel.
Yeah.
That one sentence?
This is on
EDC's old...
it's Old Lyme under Economic Development Commission. I actually got to it through Explore Old Lyme. Down on the bottom, you have a link to EDC.
Oh, okay.
And it took me to this page. So I don't know if it's a newer one or an older one.
No, that's
that's the new one.
That's the page. Yeah.
So it's the second paragraph, but really the second sentence, because that first sentence was a monster.
Yeah.
So, the EDC is committed to working openly and collaboratively with all stakeholders, especially town residents and local business owners, in a manner that will maintain and strengthen the local economy while preserving the charm and character of Old Lyme and protecting the town's natural and cultural resources.
So what if we just took the second half of that sentence even and said something like, the EDC works to maintain and strengthen the local economy while preserving the charm and character of Old Lyme and protecting the town's natural and cultural resources?
I think it's very succinct and correct. It's accurate. I think.
Yeah, go ahead. I was thinking that embedded in what you just read was the thought that our constituencies, that is the many different kinds of people who live here, have displayed over the years a strong interest in what do I just jot down, controlled and examined growth. So there's a sense that there is a feedback loop, and we're not just thrashing around trying to get more big boxes, which is perfect for some other towns.
Right. And we're working to preserve the charm and character of Old Lyme. So, John, in your point, are you expecting?
I'm saying that a little something right in that charm and character. Over the years, our residents have displayed, I just jotted it down, but our resident constituencies have displayed a constructive interest in controlled, examined growth projections. So if we have people who come in with a great big idea, our people are going to respond to it. It's not our people, meaning the people in the community, are going to respond to that. And they will have something to say about it, rather than...
Some of that stuff kind of falls out of our realm.
We're putting words in the mouth of our constituency. I agree. But that has been the case.
I definitely think that is the character of the town.
But the controlled and examined is really like zoning almost, right?
Yeah, they're the controllers of they're the gatekeepers.
That is true, but we are not out to bring in people that we proactively bring in people who we don't think would fly here. But we don't want to say that because you don't know what's coming up in the
and that's where I feel like it's a catch-22. Like, is it our place to decide what is or what isn't? I mean, that's why we have things like zoning and planning. And I mean, not like we're going to call up Lowe's and say, "Hey, you want to come over?"
Well,
but even if we did, that doesn't fit into the zoning.
Yeah, there's a stopgap.
Yeah. So,
well, what we are entrusted with, to some degree, outreach, where zoning is not. Zoning is reactive, and we are potentially proactive.
As is planning.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the planning commission.
So I just wanted to get the idea that if embedded in that ought to be some tip of the hat to the activity or the interest of our, as I say, constituencies in the town, the arts group, the shoreline group, and things that we haven't thought of, perhaps.
Well, maybe that comes under number 2, collaborate with other commissions and entities to foster the business environment. How about in a way that preserves the charm and character?
While recognizing again, using the word constituencies, while recognizing the interests of our constituencies. At least having it in there. Something like that, involving our people.
How about commissions and other constituencies?
Yeah. That's good. Interest groups is the same kind of thing, but constituencies is a little bit fancier.
So collaborate with other collaborate with other commissions and constituencies to foster the business environment in a way that preserves the charm and character of Old Lyme while strengthening economic stability, growth, and diversification.
That sounds really good.
Okay.
And accurate, because I do understand what you're saying, John, that like the most people really love how cute Old Lyme is, the way that it is.
They may have different conclusions based on their ideals, but nonetheless, they are interested, rather than having a grand plan suddenly put before them.
All right, well, maybe let's
We're on the right track.
Oh, yeah, no, I like having that built into that number 2. In terms of the vision statement, do you feel like we want to maybe work on that over the month by email or something? I feel like...
This is our mission.
Yes, and then what's the vision? What is our vision of Old Lyme? And it has to be in... I mean, maybe we're just using the POCD's vision, which is a little... I don't know if it's touchy or not, but I'm trying to remember what it something about the country charm or
So it's in
something.
the plan of conservation and development?
Yeah, so planning commission,
Okay,
typically.
so,
Let's see if I can find it.
okay,
And there's a
here's the vision statement. Let's see. Oh, I'm still in the table of contents.
I got it.
Wow, it's long.
There's one little part of it that's really the heart of it. Where is it?
Okay. It's people strongly in tune with the natural world around them and having a real appreciation for its small-town sense of community. Life in Old Lyme is gracious, relaxed, and restful, yet offering cultural, recreational, and social activities.
Right, that's it. That's the heart of it right there. So Old Lyme, I'll just repeat it for us. Old Lyme is a peaceful, serene haven with people strongly in tune with the natural world around them and having a real appreciation for its small-town sense of community life. Life in Old Lyme is typically gracious, relaxed, and restful, yet offering cultural, recreational, and social activities. I don't know that represents everyone in town, but maybe we'll revisit this. I feel like this is bigger than we can address tonight.
I don't even know what gracious means.
Right.
As far as life.
Yeah.
What's a gracious life?
It does sound we should be issuing togas and golden harps at the door here. But
We're having tea at the Flowgrass
always,
with our pinkies
yes.
out.
And if you don't,
I have time to do. Or some of us, if we're just working. Not going to school grade, but it would be nice.
So the other thing all right, so let's table the vision statement. Maybe we can think about it over a month online. Should we vote on those three numbers, those three elements of our mission statement?
So read us what number 2 now says.
Okay, so number 1 remains the same. Number 2 says collaborate with other commissions and constituents to foster the business environment in a way that preserves the charm and character of Old Lyme while strengthening economic stability, growth, and diversification.
Good.
And then number 3 stays the same.
Yeah.
So would anyone want to make a motion to accept that mission, update the mission statement with those changes that we talked about, number 2?
I'll make a motion to update.
Mona and then Wendy, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Okay, and that is passed. Thank you. And we'll revisit the vision statement. The one other element of this I want to talk about is metrics. And I had come across an article about the Connecticut Town Economic Index. And I had not heard of this before, I'm embarrassed to say, but apparently it's out there by the state of Connecticut. And it's an index that takes into account 4 things in a town every year: the number of business establishments, the number of people employed, and that is how many people are they paying payroll taxes on, the inflation-adjusted covered annual average wages, so that's aggregate payroll pay divided by total average employment, and then the unemployment rate for the town. Now, they put this number together, the 4 elements together, and in 2010, that is ground zero. That is 100. And every year other than 2010 is either better than, which is a higher number, or worse than the year 2010. It would have a lower number. So if you look at this handout with the chart, you'll see 2010 in green. That's our base year. And you can see 2011, 2012, 2013, those years were going up. You know that 2008 there was an economic financial crisis going on, so the number was a little bit low in 2009, but we do start to climb up, 2019 being a very good year, and then the pandemic happens, and we have a big drop. The index goes from 141.1 to 107.9, and we're slowly starting to climb up again and recover from the pandemic. But I like this myself. I like this a lot, and I think one of our goals should be to try to get back to pre-pandemic levels of, employment and all.
Although, we're like almost there.
Yeah, we're getting there, right?
Well, we're right between 2018 and 2019. Oh, no.
No, we're between 2017 and 2018.
My eyes aren't seeing right. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're definitely
But we
going in
made
the right
a
direction.
big jump between 21 and 22, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bigger jumps than we've seen, for a while.
So, and part of understanding this is to understand each of the 4 things that go into it. So I had an email discussion with Scott Smith, who is absent tonight, but he is going to track this for us. He's going to give us quarterly updates on the numbers that go into it, so that we can keep track of how our economy is doing. One thing that will affect this year is you look at the Rob Rivers hair salon closing.
It is.
Yeah. So how many people are employed there? That's going to affect our employment numbers here, unless they're trying to get another salon to take over that space. So hopefully they would, hire the same number of people. In 2020, we lost, I think in 2020 or 2021, we lost Bank of America. How many people were working there? And that space isn't filled yet. So that's the kind of thing.
Right, the Invisal
There you go.
transfers ownership, but the Audubon is not a large quantity employer.
Right. Yeah. So we need to understand why these numbers are the way they are. So
here's the question. When it says total covered employment, I'm assuming that quarter to quarter, if somebody hires a temporary person, that's going to move up and down, right?
yes, and the same with our seasonal, our summers.
Yeah, because I know my company hires a temp during tax season.
Okay, yeah. So that's why I'm excited to have Scott look at the quarters, because we must go up and down every year with things like tax season or the summer season.
Right.
So I think it's a good way to kind of know where we're at, because we've been struggling. We have our real estate numbers from MJ, but we don't really have any indicators of our commercial business, and I think this is a good one. And there's also the number of business openings and closings that he's trying to get at, which is buried in all of this. So I think that could be useful too.
So interestingly, one question might, and when we say total covered employment, that includes nonprofits, right?
Yeah, because it would be payroll.
Yeah.
But to John's point, the Audubon, being Thistle had housekeepers and front desk and wait servers, but Audubon, if they
were already
have 3 or 4 employees, that's right too.
They were already in town, so they just moved their location and maybe hired a few more people. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, we don't know because it has become internalized.
Well, we can find out. I mean,
well,
that's
I'm
not
not
a
saying
secret.
that anybody's hiding anything. I'm just saying we don't. How many people work at the Audubon? Gee, I don't know. I know 2 people. I think that's sort of thing. But we might well have known they would have had 15.
And then, when you really look up in our industrial park, those are the numbers that really count, like
Or the school district.
Yes.
Which is the largest employer in town, as far as we know.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I have
300 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had to submit something to the state who our largest employers were. So I do have the numbers from the industrial park because I did call up there.
Oh, good. There was someone.
I did. Or email, yeah. Okay, so stay tuned for more information from Scott on that. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good to have metrics because I feel like we're always kind of like in the dark about what we're doing.
Right.
Okay, brief updates. Eastern Regional Tourism District.
That's me. Just working through the logistics for the grants, which deadline is January 15th. So we sent an email out to everybody. Everybody's kind of interested. There's certain people. The only the questions I got were, can we do it year after year, which they can. So anybody that had a grant last year, they can apply once again this year. So
These are grants for businesses or nonprofits in tourism.
correct. Yep.
Tourism related.
Yep. And then not too much going on, but the Film Commission, I did reach out to Mark Dixon, who's the State Film Commission manager or whatever. I don't know his title, but so we do now have a contact here, and it'll be the town hall in Katie
Balaka, yeah.
Balaka. So that's all set. He's taking care of that. I already took care of that.
Great.
I don't know how long it'll take him to do it, but it's done.
And this is Mark Dixon who lives in town? Or is it another Mark Dixon? No one.
I honestly believe.
I'm just throwing that out.
No, I don't know, honestly. I've talked to him on the phone and emailed him, but I've not
All right.
met him in person. So he just runs the Film Commission for the state. So now we'll have, a contact if anybody's interested in anything like doing films, photos, whatever, what have you.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's good. But that's really about it. We haven't had a meeting it's been skipped because of Thanksgiving and this, that, and the other thing. But so we have one coming up.
Mark might, if whichever Mark it is, it doesn't matter, might be an interesting person to just put it in the hopper for a public or a small public meeting, because I don't think we really realize that there's actually serious money that Mystic and Stonington certainly know about, and even in New London.
Yeah, they do a good job on the website. They have, a website dedicated to it, and they have, if there's certain spots that we feel that maybe we would like to include, we can send that to him. Right. But they include like the Florence Griswold, and they, I'm trying to think what else is. There's a beach shot.
I think
downtown.
Deep.
Yep.
Ferry Park.
No, that is in there.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they do have shots, and then you can go on there and say what you're looking for, and then they'll reach out to that person and suggest places where they would want to film or do whatever they're doing. So we've had films here.
Yeah.
A few of them, Hallmark and a couple others, but so I think it's. And the guy from Hallmark movies lives in Norwich.
Oh, okay.
So that's how it started to come in our area.
Ah.
Well, I don't know if that's how it started, but he kind of swayed it this way. Yeah, they had all kinds of locations all over the state, including here, a couple here, a couple Lyme.
And they use many locations frequently for a given film or presentation.
Yep.
I've done years ago some stuff at Pfizer, providing, busy, attractive people at work doing science.
Yeah.
B-roll,
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, when they had the one here, I did a, whatever you call it, what do you call them when you stand?
Yeah, when you're like
extras.
Extra.
Yeah.
That. And but you have to let's do this whole thing, and then they called me for probably 6 or 7 different shots all over the state. I didn't go, but I did the one in Old Lyme, and that was enough for me. I was like, okay.
It does make
Wearing your parka in July kind of thing.
So.
it is more work than you think, just to do something simple.
It's a lot. I was like, oh.
I could see, for example, our crew set up down there is very nice. Got idyllic backgrounds, but also hearty.
Yeah.
Well, it looks good, and it's a controllable location.
Mm-hmm.
Mona, did you have a question?
Yeah, so with the grants, who, you said they're nonprofits related to tourism that are applying for that?
Yes, well, and businesses,
tourism.
it's anything related to tourism.
Are there businesses in Old Lyme that you think are going to be applying for these grants?
So here's a handful of the businesses we sent this out to. So in Soundview, the Carousel, Kokomo's, or at least 2 of them. And then the Florence Griswold, Blackhall Outfitters is down that end. And then Florence Griswold Museum, Old Lyme Inn, Audubon, Lyme Art Association, the Academy, Nightingales, Bowerbird.
A lot of businesses.
Good.
Yeah, we didn't think
And
of.
Lyme Art Academy, no, wait. Which one? They did get a grant last year. Was it the?
Yeah, I think the
Lyme
Slow
Art.
Grizz and Lyme Art Association
Yeah.
did a joint grant one year. 'Cause
Yeah.
They'd like you to collaborate.
So many will apply. Only
Possibly,
few will
yeah.
get the money. And is it a lot of money that they're getting, or?
It depends. You have to have enough money to support what they're giving you. So if they want to do a social media thing or something, they have to support. They're not going to give you all the money for it. You have to say, we are doing this, and this is how much we're funding, and we need this much more to make it this much better. And then they'll support you on that, and give you the grant, hopefully.
I think,
and it may not, and then I've been through the grant process, and, we go through each application, and then if there's not enough money, sometimes if someone's asking for $5,000, we might give them $2,500 because someone else is just equally as deserving, and give them $2,500 instead of, a full, larger amount.
So I'm going to email the commissioners here the grant information in case you can think of anyone who would also benefit from it, and a link to that film website page from ct.gov.
Oh,
I can send them that too.
yeah, okay.
Great.
Okay. Anything else, Wendy? Okay, great. Thank you. Openings, closings, ribbon cuttings. I mentioned Rob Rivers is closing at the end of the year. Gilborough is closing at the end of the year. Since our last meeting, we did go to Gilborough's and to his closing reception and gave him a certificate and a state citation, which was nice. Sapore, I think, still is working on
Still
reopening.
pending. Yeah, I mean,
They still have
they are-
their liquor
The first of the
sign
year.
up, right? I think.
No, they got the new
applied-
sign up.
Yeah, but they have the posting that says they've applied for a new liquor license.
Okay.
I think when you're closed, you have to reapply.
They did have to reapply, which is why they had to put the sign up, the
Right.
business sign up, so that they could apply for their liquor license. So I will check in with them. And then we had the ribbon cutting for a behavioral approach last Wednesday, a week ago today, which was very nice. And they employ 15 people there. And it was really interesting to see, and we're wishing them luck.
The piece in Limeline was quite long.
Oh, was it?
And
Okay.
included many photographs, some
Oh,
of which I
good.
did. I don't know.
Oh, good. And Katie Balaka took some photos too, so, okay,
I know
great.
these two. I know one of them was mine, definitely, because.
Oh, okay, I need to give you some photo credit in there then.
That's all right.
Sorry about
Already
that.
done.
Okay. Thank you, John, for taking photos that night, that's always helpful. And I'm gonna do a better job of having people pose for you in the future, because
Well,
everyone's looking in different
What
directions.
they should, well, that's true, but once you have more than 3 or 4 people, there's always someone who's
Yeah.
rolling their eyes. So that's why you take so many pictures.
That's right,
But
that's
on
right.
the other hand, people don't like to wait
Yeah.
around, and you also end up with a stagey look to them.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, thank you. You did a great job on that. Okay, I think we're going to skip real estate update because MJ is not here, and Shoreline Gateway Committee, Joe is not here. And I honestly have to say I don't know what the most recent information is on Shoreline Gateway. Other new business, I'll just say I'm looking at the Zoning Commission agenda for December 11th, and they have a continued public hearing for 250 Shore Road, which is the development of a self-storage facility. So that continues. That's the only business-related one. Other new business or business. January is reappointment and appointment time. We have one opening left by Terry Lewis, and we have a couple of applications for that. And then John and I are both, our terms are up in January, so we will be discussing if we are going to be seeking reappointment.
How much is that dependent upon the concurrence of our new selectmen? Who I happen to like, but...
The new selectmen choose it. So,
That's right, that's what,
the new
you know,
board,
appointed.
I'm sorry,
Selectmen.
Board of Select, that's what I mean when I say selectmen, yeah.
It is an appointment.
Say it again?
It's an appointment by the board.
Right,
which
right,
has
we're all
been
appointed.
Formal in the past, but I
Yeah.
don't have any, I have no agenda here, I'm just,
Yeah, so, you know, much like the last couple of years, we're all up anew
yeah.
every time. So we have to first let them know if we're interested. I'm consulted as to whether, you know, who I think would fit in the position. That only holds so much weight, and then the Board of Selectmen decide who they want to appoint.
I think my term might be up too.
I don't think so. I think you're 2025.
Oh, well, we can look.
Yeah, Jean, you can look and
Yeah,
see.
there are term lengths that are part of that. I could go out and get a,
Oh, for EDC, we have to do that?
Oh, what? I thought I was filling it. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you...
I'm filling it, so I don't have a full term, I know that, but mine is not up yet.
Can you just read off who's
Yeah.
up, what our dates are?
Here's what's listed
Okay,
on the
yep,
website.
yep.
So,
It should be correct.
okay, so Joe and Scott were just appointed and they're good through 2028, so we
Okay.
have 5-year terms?
I thought we had 4-year terms.
So maybe
but-
that's
well,
not quite
Are we
right.
5? Anyway,
Okay, so Wendy was appointed in 22 and goes to 27. There's a vacancy.
okay, so it's a 5-year one, yeah.
Mine was 21 and goes through 26, but I wasn't appointed until 22, so that's that one.
Oh, we'll fix that.
MJ's goes to 25. John says it goes to 25.
Oh, I thought you were this year, John.
And Mona and Cheryl's say they expire in 25.
Oh, I'm glad you looked that up, Jean.
That's what it
John,
says.
it's safe for another year.
That's
It's
what
you and I.
on here.
No, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I thank you for checking that. I had it wrong.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, so Mona and I are up.
So when you're reappointed, do you get re-sworn in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's my understanding. Yeah, because Joe had to get re-sworn in. He had to go back. He couldn't vote until he got re-sworn in. All right, John, you have another year to think about what you want to do. And Mona and I will think about what we're doing.
where we enter the fray.
Yes.
And then we also have a vacant.
And that's Terry Lewis's spot?
And that one it says its term is 2021 through 26. So whoever is appointed will be in a short
Yeah,
term.
in a short
Like
time. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what it says on the boards. And
That-
it's on whatever the
Yeah, that's-
onboard.
Yeah, that should be correct.
That
So,
was kind of goofy for a while, but I think it's
yeah,
up
I
to
think
date
it's
now.
caught up, yeah. Thank you, Jean, because
Mm-hmm.
I was off with that. Okay.
Didn't we change when people renewed? Because wasn't there a concern?
We
over-
talked about officers, you know.
Okay. So going in
let's
December and waiting then until renewal.
The appointments are typically in January and February. February only, bless you, February only if they don't finish their business at the Board of Selectmen meeting in January. What I wanted to do was have us vote on chair like February, March, because you need to see who's on the commission before you can decide who's a chairperson. And that right now, that's the only thing we have, but we can certainly have co-chairpersons or a vice chairperson, or we don't need a treasurer, but I would be very happy to have help in this position.
Well,
Especially after
just a footnote to that. Your active, very positively active participation in the new business. You happen to be in the town hall. One, you're in the town hall. It shows you are doing town hall things. New person comes in, you jump on it. And so that they don't go away saying, what do I do? And you didn't just give them a business card saying, call me. You know, you give them a reason to be there and a reason to come back. And, I mean, we have witnessed sort of from a distance, you know, heard rumors about somebody's going to start something, and that somebody or something never takes place, and we learn later on that zoning shot it down because they didn't have enough parking places. Maybe they need the parking places. It's not our business to rule on parking places, but it is our business to say, you know, people, new people, maybe you should consider how you present this zone. And I've seen that over the years, definitely. Shocking, really, to see businesses go away to arch enemy Saybrook or East Lyme.
Oh, yeah. Okay. One other thing is, John, you're going to know how to say this. What do we call America's 250th anniversary? Quincentennial? Quinbicentennial?
No, it's
Centennial? It's coming up in 2026.
Yes, 250th. Anyway.
The 250.
It's a good time to be thinking about that.
Yes.
I was on the Bicentennial Commission.
So,
Under the firm hand of Mrs. John Crosby Brown.
yes.
And we did a lot of stuff, and it brought a lot of people here to listen to old-time fiddlers and watch revolutionary flintlock people and
So at
many
least,
other things.
so at least for the
Play
next
online.
year.
There's several names.
Okay.
Semi-quincentennial, sesquicentennial, or quarter millennial.
Oh, okay. Very different than what I was trying to spit out.
Semi-quincentennial.
Maybe that's what I was.
Well,
Yeah, that was it. That's it, Mona.
Yeah, that sounded just like that.
Well, John,
we
my
probably
thought
should
is,
yes, good. Look for something
Would
simpler
you-
or punchy.
at least for the next year, during the remainder of your term, would you like to put together some ideas or
I
thoughts?
will be thinking about that. I'll be looking back at the bicentennial period. That again, it was not that much a simpler time.
Right.
But we had many things and
Yeah.
many town organizations.
So maybe creating like a draft of who
Sure,
we
a
should be inviting.
revisiting.
Maybe the Historical Society is thinking about this, I don't know, but I want the
If
EDC
they are,
to be
let's
thinking
be on
about
top of
it.
it,
Yes, yes.
because-
So can you take the lead on
Sure,
that?
yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Is that 2025?
Well, I've got all my dates wrong.
I would think it was 2026.
I think it's
Would it be
2026.
like 1776
Oh, yeah,
plus
right.
250?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, it's not connected with the age of the town.
Let's make sure we get the right year. I know, it's
Just
4
leave
years
it out
away,
there.
but it's only 3 years, 2 years away. I mean, we're on the cusp of
I
2024,
would
so.
also add that the selectmen, the town hall, we should ride her on, because the town hall should absolutely put it on its agenda. Who's going to be on that commission? Because we ended up with a ton of work, and it was good work. It was all fine. But who gets the preferred Saturday evening play, literally a play on the front steps of the Cooley Gallery, which used to be a bicentennial, a Revolutionary War building, and who is writing the play? Who's going to be there? And,
Right,
and how
okay.
does that tie in with the Congregational Church people?
Right.
So there's a lot of planning that occupies people's lives and scheduling outside of here.
So do you want to write up like a one-pager
Sure,
on
yeah.
what we need to be thinking about?
Sure.
Okay, that would be great.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
I think that's the way to do it. It's sort of,
I want us to be telling other organizations or the first selectman's office, we need to start working on this now.
And who's going to be editing the town report in that year? Because that reflects, that's something internal to the
Sure,
town.
yeah.
But it is because I did the editing in
Okay,
the town report.
Uh-huh.
So.
great. Okay, any other new business or other business? Is there anyone on the phone line? Okay, so we don't need to return to public comment. All right. If there is no other business, would anyone wish to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Okay, Mona and Jean, all in favor? Aye. Opposed and abstaining. Thank you, everyone.